Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining me in this video. Today is the 17th day of July 2025, and tomorrow being the 18th day, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be appearing before Justice James Omotosho in his case with the federal government of Nigeria. Remember that this case was adjourned after the judge, Justice James Omotosho, has given Nnamdi Kanu's side, that is the defense team, and also the prosecutors, that is federal government side, 7 days to file what they want to file. The defense team want to file that there is no case that the federal government has, filed against Nnamdi Kanu, that is not the case. And the federal government of Nigeria was given another 7 days to reply. So in my own belief, I believe that as the time frame has elapsed, they have done what Justice James Omotosho asked them to do. So what will happen tomorrow? And I think by tomorrow, Justice James Omotosho should be able to say something about this case, one, or fix a date where he will, draw the baton line. When I mean the baton line, where he will give the final judgment about this case. 20 names were sent to Justice James Omotosho, people who are going to come to the court tomorrow. He threw 10 names away, including Omoyole Sowore, and he only allowed 10 persons to, permission to go to court tomorrow in this case, for the reason best known to him. And part of the reason he cited was that tomorrow's court, that they need space. That space will not be there for 20 persons from Nnamdi Kanu's side. All right, before we go into more details about this case, let us understand the reason why Justice James Omotosho stopped 10 people from attending Nnamdi Kanu case tomorrow. Now, this is an article from Sarah Reporters, and it reads that the federal judge again bars Sowore from attending Nnamdi Kanu's trial slated for Friday, that is tomorrow. And this is the details. It reads that the Federal High Court in Abuja has once again barred human rights activist and former presidential candidate Omoyole Sowore from attending the ongoing trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, citing limited courtroom space. So that is why Justice James Omotosho said that there will be limited courtroom space. In other words, maybe the chairs will not be enough for the whole people that are going to come. The trial, scheduled for Friday, July 18, has drawn significant public interest. On Wednesday, a list of 20 individuals was submitted to the court, including Sowore, for clearance to attend the proceedings. However, the judge's chamber later informed that only 10 persons would be granted access due to space constraints. As a result of several names were removed from the list, including Sowore and several defense lawyers, only senior advocates of Nigeria and a few others were approved to be present at the hearing. So this is also strange to me that some lawyers won't be allowed to be in court tomorrow. Yeah, I think maybe because they are not going tomorrow to do case. They are going tomorrow to hear from the judge. I think that is just the reason why. Because it's strange that Nnamdi Kanu's lawyers, some of them will be barred not to attend court sitting tomorrow. Now, the article continues that meanwhile, on June 19, the Nigerian government officially closed its case against Nnamdi Kanu. The prosecution led by Adegboyaga Awomondo, senior advocate of Nigeria, concluded its presentation after its fifth witness finished testifying. In response, the defense counsel, Kanu Agabi, senior advocate of Nigeria, informed the court of plans to file a no-case submission, arguing that the prosecution had failed to establish a prima facie case against his client. Justice James Omotosho, the trial judge, granted the defense 14 days to file its written address on the no-case submission, with the prosecution giving an additional 14 days to respond. The matter was then adjourned to July 18 for further proceeding. Yeah, that was 14 days instead of 7 days I said earlier. Now, you see, what surprised so many people is that when Nnamdi Kanu's lead counsel, Mr. Kanu Agabi, senior advocate of Nigeria, informed the court that he is going to file no case submission, he argued that the federal government failed to establish a case against his client. I am not a judge, I am not a lawyer, but I was saying one thing consistently during Nnamdi Kanu's trial. I said, on the first day, when the DSS witness came to the court, he made one statement, and that statement will go a long way to haunt them. He said, "We did not see anything incriminating with Nnamdi Kanu." That is the truth. You did not see anything incriminating against Nnamdi Kanu. So why are you trying him of terrorism? You even charged him treason first when you did not even see anything terrorizing or incriminating against him. That is number one. Then, as things begin to unfold, I noticed that, come on, everything they are saying is not because Nnamdi Kanu did it. His brokers may have caused people to do this. His brokers is the reason why NSAS did it without concrete proof. And they were telling them, "Oh yeah, they were bringing death certificate of people that died." How will the death certificate prove that Nnamdi Kanu sent people to go and kill the person? Anyway, as I said before, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge. So, but sometimes we react like, come on, what are these people doing in court? Now, the article continues that Kanu has been in detention since 2021. He's facing charges of treasonable felony and other offenses linked to his agitation for the secession of the southern region of Nigeria. The Nigerian government accuses him of making statements and taking action that incited violence and threatened national unity. His continued detention has sparked national and international debates, with rights groups and supporters accusing the government of stifling dissent and violating Kanu's human rights. Pattern of Showere's exclusion from Kanu's trial. Meanwhile, there have been several instances where Showere has been barred from attending Kanu's trial. For instance, on December 15, 2023, Showere lamented that operatives of the Department of State Service DSS blocked him from entering the Supreme Court premises to witness a ruling related to Kanu's case. He added that the officials shouted, "No access for Showere," upon seeing his vehicle. He later posted about the incident on social media, accusing the government of prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu. Earlier on October 21, 2021, Showere was denied access to the courtroom by DSS operatives and the Nigerian police force. He had arrived to witness the trial of Kanu and also to check on his own pending treason case. He criticized the move, stating that the courtroom is a public space and should be accessible to all citizens. Also on July 26, 2021, Showere was arrested at the Federal High Court in Abuja during Kanu's trial. Security agents picked him up on the court premises amid tight security. Journalists and other observers were also restricted from entering the courtroom unless accredited.
There's an Igbo problem in Nigeria. That's why they are holding Nnamdi Kanu.
What's your take on
for asking
Nnamdi Kanu's
for
perpetual
Biafra
detention?
And then we are rehabilitating Boko Haram commanders. You said 120,000 of them have surrendered with foreign currency in their hand. And you have rehabilitated them. But one guy who says, "Oh, we want justice, we don't want to stay in Nigeria," you are holding him perpetually, using the judiciary or judicial, subterfuge to keep the trial. Everybody who knows what they are doing understand that it's not a judicial matter.
So Nnamdi is essentially a political prisoner.
He's a political hostage. Well, I'll call him not a political because he may not. Whomever is in power, except me, will keep him in jail.
So do you think that Igbos generally are endangered species in Nigeria? Going back what you just narrated.
The truth, that's the truth. Nigeria did not forgive Igbos since the end of the Civil War.
What did they do?
Because they challenged the real estate of the British called Nigeria. So, and they didn't forgive them since then. So everything has been done after that. We know this is the unspoken truth about the country called Nigeria, that they did not forgive Igbos for the Civil War.
The Igbos were the victims and they have forgiven the victims. So why is it difficult for the victors to...
You are preaching to the choir.
And because he had mentioned once that, in an interview he had mentioned that the Igbos will never be president of Nigeria. That is a perpetual, narration to keep the Igbos where they are.
Yeah, so no, it's not about even the presidency. If they find an Igbo man that is malleable, that can work in their interest, they can make him president if he doesn't have any power. You can be a president of, you can be a president of Nigeria and not have the powers of the president. When they wanted to destroy the landmark, who was the minister in charge? It's not an Igbo man.
And Moka is Igbo speaking, also fighting.
It's easier for them to use an Igbo man to carry out. If it was done by a Yoruba man, the uproar would have been worse. But you find an Igbo minister of works to help you demolish Igbo businessman. You say, can't you see them? So it's easier that way. It's manipulation. It's how Nigeria manipulate people. But I'm not saying that if he was a Yoruba minister, he cannot demolish. They will do it too. It's easy. Anybody could have done it as long as there's an agreement to do it. Because beyond just ethnicity, there's also an elite conspiracy against Nigerian people. So an average poor person is endangered. But you are likely more endangered if you have committed a generational crime against the Nigerian real estate. Owned
by being an Igbo man.
Of course. That's the truth. You know, that's why you were saying, oh, you're a Yoruba man. You know, if based on what I say, they even tell me I'm not Yoruba enough. You know, but I'm of mixed heritage. There's a part of me that is Ijo.
Okay.
And we are the Ijo speaking Yorubas. We're the Yoruba speaking Ijos in Ondo State.
Okay.
So they call us Ijo Apoy.
Ilaje area.
No, it's Ilaje. So we're next to Ilaje.
Okay.
But my great grandparents came from Yoruba side of things. But the stream that Shore is named after is in Ijebu waterside.